Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to Joyful Living. Today we are going to talk about the power of a day off, how you need to do it even if you have young kids, even if you're working full-time and have young kids, even if your life is insane and you think there is no way I can take a day off, how it's important for your mental health, your physical health, and how it just might change your life. And I'm really glad that you're here. A few years ago, I was a mom with 3 kids that had been born in 3 years. I believe when I first started really diligently practicing this concept, the twins were about 3 years old and Jack was about 6 years old. Life was cuckoo bananas. I was working full time. My husband was traveling. I was exhausted. I felt like every time I was off work, I was working so hard on stuff for the house that I never had a break. I never had any time off. I was finding myself resentful. I was starting to have some physical ramifications of the fact that I was resentful, and I realized that something needed to change. Around that time, I was really entering into some spiritual practices in regards to Sabbath, what it was, why it was important. And I kind of found that those two things, my lack of energy, my lack of motivation, and my lack of Sabbath or rest were definitely going together in a very harmful way. Now, before you click off the video, this is not something that only people of a certain religion can practice. The concept of taking a day off kind of spans across all different faith traditions, and you don't have to have any faith at all. You could be an atheist and still find this extremely beneficial for your life if you will kind of take the concept and make it into what it needs to be, which is a time of rejuvenation and rest. Now, when you think, let's talk about the spiritual side of it for just a second, because if you go back to the 10 Commandments, we were told to honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. And I think throughout the years, a lot of people have come to believe that that means going to church on Sundays. I happen to think that nothing could be further from the truth. I think that Sabbath truly is a time of self-restoration. And I have quite a few friends who practice Judaism, and this whole concept of Shabbat and Sabbath and taking time away is really more about recognizing that 6 days of the week you are about producing and putting outward, and 1 day of the week you are about turning inward and doing self-reflection, self-care, and truly looking at yourself as a person that exists beyond what you produce. And this was the part of it for me that changed everything, because I stopped looking at it as a selfish endeavor and started looking at it as truly a way where I could get proper perspective of self, where I could take this idea that somehow the world requires me to, turn on its axis and realize that actually I have wealth and worth and self-identity within myself that has nothing to do with what I produce, and therefore I can take a day off. I can take myself out of production mode for 1 day every week. Now, I will let you go and do all of your own research on the spiritual ramifications of Sabbath, the physical and emotional ramifications of Sabbath. They are many, but I will just end this introduction with a quote from Abraham Joshua Heschel from The Sabbath, Its Meaning for Modern Man. And he says, "The world has our hands, but our soul belongs to someone else. 6 days a week we seek to dominate the world. On the 7th day, we try to dominate the self." So it is actually a very spiritual practice for me personally, but it's also just practically a way to kind of feel like you're taking the reins of your own life back, and a way for you to stop feeling so out of control. But what I want to spend the bulk of my time talking about in this video is the practicality of Sabbath. So as I said, I had very young children when I first started practicing this, and you're thinking, how the heck did you do that? And as you will find from anyone in your life that practices Judaism, preparing for Sabbath is quite the ordeal. It takes a lot of thought. And so what you have to do to get ready for Sabbath might feel at first like just not worth it and too much work. But I think if you stick with it, you'll find that that Sabbath day is something you look forward to all week. And especially now when our days are all starting to sort of run together, you'll find that it helps you reset in a way where you don't just feel like a cog in a wheel, that you actually kind of identify with your spiritual and physical importance. And it will also help you spend really good quality time with your family. So the number one thing you have to do to prepare for Sabbath is you need to be prepared for your family, right? Because they're still going to want to eat. You're still going to have to live your daily life. I never have done my day off in a religious way, so I haven't needed to, not open doors or not use electronics or anything like that. The key for me was really just finding things that we could all enjoy together, that we could enjoy individually, but that didn't require any work. So the biggest preparation that I probably did was food related. I made sure that we had, if we were going to cook together as a family, which we frequently did on our day off, we would make sure we had all of the groceries in the house that we needed so that nobody had to run to the store. Because for me, running to the store breaks my restorative time. That does not feel restful to me. But if the ingredients are all there, then I feel ready to go. So really planning out your meals. Maybe for you, it's, having some more convenience foods in the house than normal. Maybe for you, it's ordering takeout so that you don't have to cook at all, but you do have to give some thought to, okay, what are we going to eat so that it is the least amount of labor, or if there is labor involved, it's something we're doing together and we truly enjoy. Another thing that I would do practically to prepare was I would clean. Now, I told you when I started this, I worked full time, so I had 2 days off. So one of the days would be literally preparation for Sabbath, which included everything from everyone changing their sheets to doing laundry to cleaning the floors. So it meant a lot more work on one of my 2 days off so that we could all really be off on that other day. And I would say that trade-off totally worth it, because there was something almost exciting to us about cleaning the house, getting the groceries in, getting everything clean and tidy, because we knew the next day we were going to be able to just relax and enjoy a beautiful clean house. Well, to be honest, the kids didn't care if the house was clean and beautiful, but I cared. I'm one of those people, I can't really relax if my house isn't neat and tidy. So spending that first day of my 2 days off really intentionally getting all of the housework done and eliciting the help of my family to make that happen really went a long way towards making the rest day just the most restful that it could possibly be. So you're going to make sure you have food taken care of, and you're going to make sure that your house is clean. Now, what are you actually going to do on your day off? Now, this is a very individual question, and I think that the answer is going to be different for everybody. But I can tell you that for me, the day off meant reading, time spent outdoors if the weather permitted. Speaking of weather, sorry that the clouds are going in and out, but we have some thunderstorms passing through, and I don't know. I always hear people apologize for that when they're making YouTube videos. I kind of like it. Like it's kind of real life going on behind the camera. I don't know. That's just me. Anywho, as far as what are you going to do, if your children are young, maybe you want to have a special movie planned or a special game that you all play together, or you're going to go to the park, or you're going to go on a hike, or maybe you are going to leave the house and go to something like an aquarium or a museum or the zoo. But the point is you're going to have intentional space and time to do things that you find joy in. Now, for some people, some things are more enjoyable, and for other people, other things are more enjoyable. So for me, there is nothing more restorative than sitting outside, listening to some beautiful music and reading a good book or flipping through a magazine. It's like the most simple thing in the world, but in my day-to-day life where everything is so hectic, and certainly when the kids were young, that's just not something that I had time for. Now, if I'm telling you to do things that you find restorative and you're sitting there going, I don't even know what is restorative, then I want you to sit down before you start doing any other planning for your day off and think about what even feeds my soul? What are the things that I find restorative, especially during times of stress and turmoil? Now, for me, that's going to be, again, like I said, exercise, taking a bath, listening to beautiful music, eating really good food, drinking really good wine, spending time in good conversation with people that I love. But you really have to determine that for yourself. Now, I know at this point in the video, there are a whole bunch of you going, this is not realistic. And I just want to say to you, if a working mom with 3 young kids and a husband who travels can figure out a way to take an entire day off, and I'm talking from sunup to sundown, you could do sundown to sundown if you want to practice it more traditionally, whatever works for you, then you can find the time as well. And especially now, as I say, when our days are running together and our lives feel crazy, if you don't do this one thing, if you don't take that time out where you're not producing, but you're practicing self-care, I believe that will come out in other ways and maybe in unhealthy ways, and you will find your level of productivity going down and down and down and down. So it really is doing less in order to do more. So now that my kids are grown and I work from home and I don't have as rigid of a schedule anymore, I probably don't worry about that day off anymore, right? Oh, I absolutely still take a day off. Fridays are currently my personal Sabbath days, and I prepare all week to make sure that I can really take Fridays off. I don't schedule appointments. I have very minimal interaction on social media. It isn't that I'm not on it at all. I'm not legalistic about it, but I am not working on Fridays. And I have found that if I don't do that, even now when my time is my own, if I don't have that designated time that is just for me to rest and restore, it just doesn't seem to happen. And I end up building up resentment, I end up feeling martyred, and I end up getting a lot less done. So plan your Sabbath, take your Sabbath, enjoy your Sabbath, and even if it isn't a spiritual practice for you, just the practice of taking a day off can actually change your life, and it will be really, really good for your mental health. So tell me in the comments below, when was the last time you actually took a day off when you weren't on vacation? And if it's been a really long time, what's the one thing you can do today to make that happen? It's a big deal, you guys. It's really important. If you're not already subscribed to my channel and you like home organization, life encouragement, home vlogs, please make sure you do so. And then make sure you hit that bell notification so that you don't miss it every time I upload a new video. I hope whatever you're doing, you're finding joy, and I'll see you next time. Happy day off. Bye-bye.